Odie Hawkins!
Surprised?
Oh, yes. Always. Definitely. You surprised me so many times.
Oh.
Do you know what time it is?
That's okay.
It's a moment in time.
This is a moment in time. There's no doubt about it.
Can I come join you?
And I'm pleased to see you.
Yes.
Well, come over and have a seat. And
Okay.
tell me about it.
Well, it's a moment in time.
Yes.
And I was thinking,
You look like a little queen.
I'm your queen.
I hope so.
Of course, you're my king.
Well, let's stay on script.
We're talking about hallowed days.
Hallowed days.
And, and the fact how so many people have to have a day to celebrate. They have to seem like they're required, okay, that they look at the calendar and they say, oh, let's see here, it's Father's Day.
Yes.
Or it's Mother's Day. We'll say New Year's Day.
New Year's Day.
Okay, Kwanzaa. Okay, Martin Luther King Day. But they spend so many days between the holidays that they don't appreciate the day that they're in.
Okay, can I
Please.
get on? I'm right where you're at. It happened to me years and years ago. I mean, maybe 40 years ago, back in ancient times, when I just simply began to get a little fed up. I was in Chicago. Was that in Chicago? Well, that was longer ago than 40 years, maybe 50 years ago. And Chicago is one of those black Chicago. I can't speak for the Irish or the Poles or the other people. But it's a well-known thing that when what we have called the holidays, and I hope no one mistakes us for being atheists.
Or take offense.
Okay.
Okay.
I started thinking about it, and at the time, I was really going through a real serious period of deprivation. I mean, we all were. There was very little money. Things were tough. And I was living in this poor neighborhood. I think it was Bourne Avenue.
Okay.
And everybody was in approximately the same position. At the time, they were, the county was giving people potatoes, big pound wedges of cheese.
Okay, was it powdered potatoes or was it potatoes?
These were actually potatoes.
Oh, okay.
But they did have powdered potatoes. They had powdered eggs, which I hated. Yeah, but we were all, check this out, we were all going to this pickup station, the young men who could borrow somebody's wagon, and everybody was trying to avoid everybody else so that we wouldn't see each other pulling these wagons home with our food.
Right. Some pride
Yeah. I remember I had a friend named Bobo, and I ran into Bobo sneaking through the alley, and Bobo was dragging somebody's wagon. As a matter of fact, it wasn't snowing, but he had his food on a sled, runners.
Okay.
Because at least I borrowed somebody's wagon with the wheels. And we stopped, hey man, what's up? And, where you going? And blah, blah, blah. You gonna go to the Pepsi this Friday? If I feel like it, blah, blah, blah. Say, hey, later on, all right, home, take care, We were ashamed.
Forget the elephant in the room. We're not going to talk about what did you got. Okay, yes.
We were ashamed. We were ashamed to be poor. We were ashamed to be what we were. But the holiday was coming up. This one I remember. It was Thanksgiving.
Okay.
The holiday that goes into Christmas. Okay. This was Thanksgiving. And this was not one of those neighborhoods where you smelled turkey in ovens and so forth and so on. If people had enough money, they might fry a chicken.
Okay.
But it was a time when we started sort of hiding out from each other because for those, I lived in a basement on Bourne. We had a 2-burner in the middle of a big basement. There are 6 people who lived down there in little cubicles.
Okay.
We all cooked on these 2 burners, whatever we cooked. On this particular holiday, I remember they had neck bones and white potatoes. White potatoes, okay. Neck bones, okay.
Right.
You know, if you don't have anything else.
Better than nothing.
Better than nothing.
Right.
But everybody was sort of, you know, hiding out because they didn't want other people to know that we didn't have a turkey.
Right.
Very few people had turkeys. Okay, thank goodness. The next day is what, the 25th, the 26th, the day after Thanksgiving.
Right.
So we were okay again. We could go out and
Right.
play because the hallowed day was over.
Right.
Now,
The day to impress your neighbors or the Joneses or whatever, yes. Okay.
oh
Right.
man. So now what we have to look at is
The next.
Christmas coming.
Ah.
Once again, nobody had any more money than they had for Thanksgiving. So what do? I always thought of it, I began to think of it as the Hallmark holiday, a Hallmark card holiday that had been declared by Hallmark cards
Right.
to make poor people feel bad. Somebody says something like, well, what you gonna get? What you gonna get the kids for Christmas? Oh, they want bikes. You know, that's what they want. They want bikes.
Okay, yeah, of course you can eat a bike. You can live in a bike.
Oh,
You can cover the bike up. You can put the bike on you and cover you up at night so you stay warm.
I heard
Because
that.
the bike is a practical thing to want.
You're being sarcastic.
Just a little.
Sarcastic.
Just a little. You know.
Okay, here comes Christmas. We're living in a cubicle that was designed with what do you call it? Drywall. It had 4 sides. The front was drywall, the 2 walls were drywall. You could get up on a chair and look over into the next cubicle.
Sort of like a maze.
It was just a maze. The back side of the room was stone, and it leaked, whatever. So here comes Christmas. There was no little guy named Santa Claus running around.
Well, there's no chimney.
Nobody.
Y'all were in the basement.
We in the basement.
Okay, if you go
No
to the
chimney,
basement,
he couldn't get down there.
Okay, if you go to the basement, it's usually the furnace is down there. Keep you burned
It's
up.
cold. It's cold. So he couldn't have made it to
You
us.
could have had no access. Okay,
wow.
no access to your living
But
quarters.
what my mother did in celebration of the time was to find a milk bottle. They had milk bottles then, quart-sized milk bottle. She got some Christmas tree branches
Droppings from somebody
from
else.
from droppings. That's a good description of it. She had put those in this bottle and put them right down beside the bed. I slept on a cot here. My mother and my sister slept on a bed right there. She put it in the middle of the floor, and there we had these Christmas tree fire, the tree ferns, and draped a nice white towel around it. She hung some cutout papers on the pipes that ran across the ceiling. The ceiling ran across the top of the cubicle. Little jagged pieces of things, decoration, really nice. And I believe we had some oranges from somewhere. That was Christmas. At the time, I didn't think very much of it because, you know, orange is orange is orange.
Thank you very much. Appreciate the oranges.
But I started looking at that year after year and asking myself, since we can't afford anything, why are we stressing ourselves out to try to get something to celebrate a day?
It's important to celebrate every day.
Okay, if we had been dedicated, bona fide, weeping willow Christians, so to speak, I could have understood it a little bit better, but nobody brought Christ into it or anything like that. People said Merry Christmas. It wasn't Merry Xmas.
Right.
It was still Merry Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
But the sense of deprivation and the sense of being down at the bottom of everything.
Well, you know, it's not only Christmas, it's birthdays.
Okay, now you're taking it way out there.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we don't want to go to Columbus Day.
Okay, yeah, right, okay. National holidays, all right?
This is one of the reasons when we were talking about it, I think we arrived at the general consensus that we could call them hollow days. They seem sometimes like the most hollow days of any year. You know, the people who have stuff, they have stuff. I like Bill Maher made a joke that stuck in my mind. He was talking about Thanksgiving as a day when people eat food stuffed full of food.
Yes.
The turkey and all that. For those who love it, more power to them. But I've always questioned why it was that we, the descendants of slaves
and indigenous people, like Native Americans or whatever. Yeah.
Okay, well, it's pretty easy to see why Native Americans finally said, you know, don't bring that on the reservation.
Thank you.
You know, and you know, it makes you want to wonder if. Well, consider this. Consider this.
What's that?
Stop me if you've heard it.
Go right ahead.
If you were the descendant of some people who had been enslaved, brought over to America, we were probably America's first boat people, brought over here in the hold of ships, sloshing around in your own waste and all the rest of that. And you arrived, and the first thing that someone did was to, I think, probably whip you and then baptize you. I'm not questioning anyone's right to believe whatever they want to believe, but I've always asked myself, what would be the attraction to a system of control, not religion, but to a system of control that guaranteed you an ass whipping on a daily basis if you didn't work your ass off.
Yeah.
And then come all the way down to the 21st century and celebrate getting your ass whipped.
Yeah.
You know, when you may hear some of the historically challenged young men in the neighborhood set off some firecrackers as we have this little chit chat. And I wonder about them sometimes. I think you're supporting an economic system that oppresses you. Every time you go buy a cherry bomb, the money, I'm sure it doesn't stay in Compton.
No. No.
I would assume that it flows all the way out back to China or wherever. Why would I want to set off some firecrackers or set off some cherry bombs to celebrate something that has nothing to do with me?
Well, I think it just all goes back to the insensitivity of people to other people's needs. That, you know, it's no problem. You want to do the cherry bomb, you want to do the fireworks. Go somewhere where you're not infringing on other people's peace of mind, especially like, you know, the Cambodians, the Vietnamese, the Chinese, or people, the Iranians, people who have been in a war zone.
Oh, God.
Okay,
They must be going crazy.
Okay, you know, we don't even talk about the animals. The people who've been in war zones for the 4th of July to come, I just can't imagine how they maintain a sense of peace and calm when you hear things that are so similar to the bombs and the chaos that they left
behind,
for peaceful America.
I happen to believe behind most of these hollow days there's an economic motive.
Oh, of course.
Does it mean that you could celebrate one of these holidays, let's say July 4th, with some shekels, everybody go around with some checkeries or some tinkling bells.
Yes.
Why would you have to set off bombs?
Oh, well, the rockets were in glare and the bombs bursting in air.
Okay,
And okay, you know, and I'm like, with having had, you know, gone through COVID, with having gone through a very oppressive 2020, a little peace and quiet. How about that?
Oh,
A little
yeah,
peace
yeah.
and quiet, you know? Yeah.
Okay. Aside from everything else, it seems that the holidays breed a certain kind of absolute disregard for other people's sensibilities and feelings. Like you talk about the Cambodians who are coming from a war zone,
Right.
the people next door.
Mm-hmm.
If you thought about it, well, okay, this guy has to get up to go to work tomorrow.
That too.
Okay, or I might be traumatizing the little kids.
Exactly.
Not to mention animals who
Or the senior citizens.
Senior citizens.
Okay.
How many heart attacks have they had listening to cherry bombs?
I don't know.
But okay, the economic motive means that I don't give a damn how many people are frightened. I don't care how much this affects your hearing or any of that. The most important thing is I make the money off of these explosives.
Or how dangerous could be.
How dangerous.
You know, I mean, I don't know the statistics of how many people have lost limbs or blinded themselves or blinded a family member blowing these things off.
Zola.
Yes, ma'am.
Give me a holiday that really earns our respect for being not a hollow day, HOLLOW, but a HALL, a hollow, a really hallowed day. I pause for your reply.
For me, it's every day, because every day is a miracle.
Oh.
Every day is a miracle. When I go to bed at night, I hope to wake up the next morning. But there's no guarantees. You know, you're in earthquake country. You know, people who are in with hurricanes and, you know, sinkholes. So there's no guarantee, you know, that we think, you know, we go to bed with the naivety of a child. Okay, that, you know, no.
Now I lay me down to sleep, I pray my Lord the soul to keep. Yeah, right.
Okay, and that was a terrible prayer. But moving right along from there, if I should die before I wake, I pray the Lord my soul to take. Okay, I die before I wake, don't tell children that. But anyway, and so, like I said, when my head hits the pillow, when I wake up the next morning, it's a miracle.
So I want to join your congregation, if I'm not already in it.
Please,
you're talking about a 7-day holy, hallowed.
Every single day is holy. Every single day, every single moment, every breath. Okay.
How did you come to that? How did you?
I think, you know, being raised primarily with my grandparents, you know, in the church and what have you. And I noticed with senior citizens, we would go, my grandfather would take me to give communion to elders at the convalescent home. And my job was to read the Bible. And I would listen to them talk about how doctors had said, well, you know, Miss Jones, you have a terrible heart condition and I don't think you will live till next year. And Miss Jones would be talking about her last visit with her doctor, and she would say, well, we went to his funeral last Saturday. Okay?
Oh, wow.
Okay. So she went to the doctor's funeral who said she was not going to live. And that just their appreciation for life. And then there was, you know, the initial death and dying studies. Where there was supposedly a 16-year-old that had some type of disease where she was dying. She was in hospice. And she was talking about how she had enjoyed her life. She had done everything she could do that she wanted to do in her 16 years. She had done. And there was an 80-year-old woman there who was saying, I need more time. I haven't lived my life. I've lived everybody else's life.
Ooh.
I've done everything. I did everything my mother wanted, my father wanted, my brothers and sisters wanted, my husband wanted.
Yeah.
But I have never done anything I wanted to do.
I know a couple.
All right? And I thought, how truly sad that, you know, you only have one life, and it's not a long one. Even if you're living to 150 or 120, it's not a long period of time.
Okay, but look, let's delve into it a little bit. It seems that when you wind up with those people, those are the people that I would say have been led astray, misled. Then there are other people who seem, I think, like yourself, who seem to have grasped the notion early on that I should live my life, not to be selfish, but I should live my life for me,
right?
And I can assist you, but I can't live for you.
Right, and I can't assist you to my own detriment. I can assist you as much as I can, but you know, and consequently, you know, I get disturbed by the judgmental thing. How dare you judge another person or another point of view? You did not give birth to this person, and even if you gave birth to the person, they are an individual. And at least in quote-unquote America, I'm told, air quotes, that you are allowed to have your own opinion.
Own opinion, yeah.
You know, God forbid you believe exactly like I believe. God forgive you for insisting that, you know, if I call this a light, you must call it a light instead of loose or whatever, speaking in your language, okay? Your language or whoever, English, French, Spanish, Yoruba, there are different ways of communicating.
Yeah.
There are people who do sign languages, different ways of communicating. So why should one way of communication be better than another way of communication? As long as the concepts go across. You know, how dare we judge each other?
Okay, but as you know, I don't have to mention Mary Margaret Taylor Greene or whoever or people like that. They seem to have assumed that they are the ones that you should pay attention to, their opinions. You know, because their opinions matters, yours don't. I just heard a funny thing about Ocasio-Cortez, who was saying, she can say whatever she wants to say. I'm taller than she is. You know, she putting it into the. What are you talking? Get out of here! Get out of here! But what is it that about some people who are not satisfied until they can direct your thinking into their path of thinking, and not pay any attention to what you think?
They will never be satisfied, because I often maintain.
What is that though? Why aren't they?
Well, you know.
And I don't mean to get vociferous.
I understand. I maintain all these quote-unquote perfect people who don't have holes in their hands or feet or in their head from thorns. All these quote-unquote perfect people. No matter what you say, if it's similar to them, they can never be right. Okay? You know, you always have to go one step further. As I say sometimes to friends, that if Jesus Christ were to come back, they'd crucify him again. Because they would say, you're not Christian enough, or you're not perfect enough, or you got it wrong. You know, live and let live. You know, be happy with what you can do with your life and do something with it.
But you know that's not a popular opinion.
It may not be popular, unfortunately.
But it's your opinion.
It is my opinion.
Yeah.
It is my opinion.
Right.
That, you know, I don't fault anyone for the holidays they want to celebrate. But it's called, if that's what you want to do, it may not be what I want to do. But, you know, I'm not going to stop you from doing your thing. Enjoy yourself. Okay, I'm gonna, applaud and ring the bells for you.
You're a liberal. Is that what they call it?
I am a realist.
Oh.
Okay, I don't think being a realist is either liberal or left, right, whatever. I'm, don't have blinders on. I think I see more of what a child might see in life. Okay, a baby is born and the baby wants to know all there is about life, wants to move forward and do everything they possibly can. As a child grows, the parent says, well, no, you can't do that. You can't do this. Teachers say you can't do that. A bird is a circle with a beak on it like that. That's not a bird. Okay? And they try to make you see things as they would want you to see things or see life. And you must see it for yourself. You must to thy own self be true.
Okay, question, if I can.
Yes, please.
What would be the ideal thing if a child is growing and you would not want to have this child follow in your footsteps? You would want to have this child, male or female, transgender, bisexual, whatever.
A child growing up with me would know my concepts, but I'd also say that I would explain to the child there are other ways of looking at things. Okay, as you get older, you have to decide if this is right for you. Okay, I try to explain that you try to surround yourself with good people. In fact, I used to tell Russell, you don't want to be around vampire people, okay, that just suck the blood out of you. But swamp people are worse, because I hear there's like a prison in Florida that's in a swamp. And if you escape from that prison, if you stop, there's creatures and stuff that will eat you up because you stopped. You took a pause, you got tired. And so you definitely don't want to be around swamp people. And you may not be aware of people who are just sucking the living life out of you. All right? and they're doing it because that's what they do. Right or wrong, but that's what they do.
That's what they do.
Okay, a pimp does what he wants, a hoe does what he wants, a white-collar businessman does what he wants, politicians do what they want, with very little regard to how their actions may affect another person.
As related to holidays,
yes.
Is this part of that? So that someone says, look, New Year's. Well, okay, wait a minute. I picked the wrong holiday because there's so many New Years around, I don't know which one.
There you go.
The Persian New Year, the Chinese New Year, the Jewish New Year, Orthodox Jewish New Year, Reformed Jewish New Year, biblical, Evangelist New Year. So I don't know if that's the right holiday to pick, because it seems that that's one of those where everybody has decided, well, hey, you got yours, I got mine. But in those other days that they want everybody to celebrate, no matter what your religious affiliation is, they want you to say. Or
if your calendar is full and I'm sorry, I didn't realize that day was a holiday, and I've already booked this business trip that I need to take. Okay, or this vacation that I'm needing to take by myself. Okay, and if people get upset, it's like, go ahead and celebrate yourself.
Yeah.
Okay? Go ahead and do it. And maybe next year I'll join you, and maybe not.
You know what? I have a suggestion. Let's see if we can pull this off.
Yes, we'll try this one.
This is June, right? June 28th?
Yes, sir.
28th, is that right? You got that on your calendar?
Okay, let me see.
June 28th?
June 28th. The Obamas.
Celebrate.
Celebrate. Okay, June 28th.
Okay, you know what I'd like to do?
What's that?
Starting July first, I would like to create a month of holidays.
A month of holidays?
Yes.
Oh,
Okay, I mean, it's going along with your concept of every day being a day of celebration for the fact that you're still alive.
Right.
But I'd like to celebrate every solid day
Ooh.
in July
Okay.
in some way. It need not be anything other than sharing a glass of water right
A good
here.
book?
But that too, that kind of thing too.
Some poetry?
But we could do that.
A classical movie?
We could have a costume ball right here.
Oh, I got costumes.
Wear masks.
Yes, okay.
Not
I
down
got
here,
costumes.
up here, up here.
Okay, I wear my cat costume.
Oh God! Okay, I tell you what.
Oh, and we could play the record player.
We could do that.
I like that.
Play some music.
I'll play some chess finally.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
I have to start practicing because if I lose, then it'll dampen my holiday. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay.
But yeah, each one of the day for the whole month, we'll pick some way at the very beginning of the day to celebrate it. Let's say, I tell you what, let's alternate. Starting, I'll give it to you first.
Okay.
On July the 1st,
Okay.
you'll orchestrate some simple thing that we do to celebrate being in that day, in a sense being in that moment.
Moment in time.
And at that point, I think this is a good place to stop.
Why don't you join us? Why
Try that.
Why don't you also have a month of holidays? A month every day.
Nothing extravagant.
No.
No firecrackers, no birthday cakes.
Nothing expensive. Nothing expensive. I mean, a walk in the park.
Walk in the park.
Okay.
Hey, try this. Walk around the block and spit on the sidewalks.
Is it illegal to spit on the?
I mean, don't spit on anybody's yard.
No, that's not nice. That's dirty. Don't put germs up there. Okay.
But
Okay.
yeah,
Yes.
I'll take July the 2nd.
Okay. Okay. Then
And,
I'm July.
I've already
the
got
3rd.
grand plans. I'm thinking
Okay.
of
And then the 4th.
going to sit out in the backyard
And the 5th.
and maybe look up at the sky for 15 minutes and try to think about nothing.
Yes. At night.
No bills, no chills, no planes. Well, there are going to be planes passing over the head, but don't pay them any attention.
We could also look at the sky if there's any clouds and see what pictures you see with the clouds.
I'm with you.
You with me?
Yes.
Why don't you join us? A month of holidays.
Try it. As you do it, I would suggest that you just murmur to yourself, a moment in time.
A moment in time.
A moment in time.
Well, with this, I'm going to put the holiday up and I'm going to think about what I'm going to do for my holidays that I have to mark because I have the first, you have the 2nd, I have the 3rd, you have the 4th, I have the 5th, you have the 6th. Well, that's an interesting day. And the 7th is me. Okay, I'm going to write it all down.
All you have to do is put your first initial, O-Z, 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 O-Z,
I said
and so forth.
Oz.
Oh, I'm so glad we arrived at that. I feel, oh yeah, Obama's a good place to start.
Obama's a good place to start.
Yeah.
Yes, we can.
Sí se puede.
Ah.
Sí se puede. Sí se puede.
All right. So, have your month of holidays, and we will have ours. Ashe. And
Itness.
Okay.
Bravo.
I like that idea.
We arrived at something.
Ashe.